In the spring of 2020, a pandemic swept across the country, closing school buildings and sending students home, creating a dramatic shift in classroom instruction. Overnight, schools had to embrace a remote learning model few were prepared to adopt. The challenges were vast: uneven student access to computers and internet, little guidance on logistics and remote classroom management, and teachers generally unprepared for delivering engaging experiences in a remote setting.
We've never before had to consider completely closing school buildings while maintaining equitable quality instruction. School leaders have had to make some very difficult decisions, but we know that our teachers carry so much of the burden of that decision. We've seen changes in assessment and communication in so many of the normal strategies that teachers would be using. But one of the things we've seen imperative to focus on is that social and emotional learning component of education. We know that students are people first, and we need to consider their needs as most important when we're thinking about how we move forward with remote learning. The good news is that many of these changes have helped our traditional systems attain more flexibility, more accommodations, and an opportunity to really develop our students into contributing members of a modern society. These changes are not new to many of our workplace industries. They are new to education, and so it's allowing us to prepare our students for their future.
Although not ideal, this moment in education can be an opportunity to rethink how our education system is structured. Blended learning programs offer students greater control over their learning, as well as flexibility in schedules, and providing greater opportunities of where learning takes place. It can also be more interactive than a traditional classroom experience if done with the proper support in place. This includes ensuring all students have equitable access to a quality education regardless of where they live, the color of their skin, or whether or not they fall below the poverty line.
Our biggest concern is equity. We know that some students need personalized support and additional instruction in their curriculum. We also know that not every student has access to digital resources. They don't necessarily have a safe place to learn or adequate home support.
My hope is school systems are able to approach the immediate need of social distancing with the goal of a well thought out, intentional plan for a blended learning experience. Schools are getting creative. One example could be middle school and high school students attending all online classes while elementary students are alternating days, or kindergartners and first graders attending all 4 days. Some schools are choosing to go completely all online except for the specialized group of students who need that extra support and face-to-face instruction. What's important is that we stay flexible and accommodate the community and the students who are learning, because the buildings may be closed, but the learning still continues.
With remote and hybrid learning taking a much bigger role, Insight2Execution is working with educational institutions, both in K-12 and higher education, to develop effective strategies for today's digital classrooms. I2E's instructional design team works at the school, district level, and campus level, deploying one-to-one initiatives, designing comprehensive professional learning plans, refining curricula, and working directly with both teachers and administrators to fundamentally change how instruction is delivered to students. I2E has been working for years to shift education from a traditional industrial model to one that focuses more on mastery, a growth mindset, and developing social and emotional learning as they teach instructors to use technology in an authentic way.
At Insight2Execution, our core team consists of educators with system-level background. We see ourselves as change agents, and there is no better time to set forth that change. Some of the things we do is work with system leaders to design technology initiative planning. We also deliver professional learning experiences and engagements to educators all over the United States. We curate and create rich resources that help teachers understand how best to deliver innovative practices in their classrooms. And one of our favorite things to do is to work with those educators to facilitate change in their classrooms. For years, I2E has been helping systems operationalize new models and helping teachers move forward into this new world of learning. And we've been busier than ever during this era of great change.
I2E takes a constructivist approach with a realistic lens on transformative teaching and learning. We primarily do this through our work with teachers and district leadership. So much of what we expect of our students does not happen when working with adults. Like their students, educators also need to work towards mastery. And a growth mindset and social emotional learning needs to be taught to educators as well. I2E started off as a marketing company. And 6 years ago, I joined and we started focusing on education. At that time, I was also finishing up with my doctorate and was really focusing on equity in education. So moving this company into a more educational focus really allowed me to look at what is needed to transform education in this modern world. Our company eventually grew into a team of highly skilled educators who are passionate about changing the trajectory of learning in the U.S. As we continue to evolve as educators first and a company second, we anticipate working more at the regional and state level to have a greater impact on the direction of education in this modern and unpredictable world.
To learn more about Insight2Execution, visit i2eedu.com.